You know, you guys are always hitting me up to want to know, Chris, where should I be investing? What are the hottest markets to be in right now? I've created a series of videos right here, and in this 5-part series, I'm going to be sharing with you the markets to go into. We're going to talk about what makes them hot markets. We're going to talk about the returns that we've been getting with our clients on the thousands of deals that we've been doing. It's all coming your way right now. So I'm getting a lot of requests out there from many of you that are saying, okay, Chris, you talk a lot about nationwide investing, but can you really do that successfully? And it really comes down to knowing the best and hottest markets to invest in and having the right team and infrastructure. So today, I want to jump into this conversation and I want to start by saying this. Investing in an out-of-state property could be the biggest nightmare and mistake of your life. I know so many mom and pop shops, meaning someone that's brand new to the game, they have a handful of properties and they'll go out of state, and they were allured by the really great returns. There was something on that document, the sheet, the property that said, I'm getting a great deal on this, I'm getting a great discount. And there's some things that you really need to factor in. Getting a good deal doesn't mean that you're going to make money. Getting a good deal is actually part of the equation. Getting the money out is how you manage and operate that. So one of the first problems people have when they live out of state is they say, wait a second, Chris, do I have to get on a plane every time? Do I need to get in my car and drive for several hours? Like, how do I really make out-of-state investing successful? Here's one of the flaws. People say, oh, it's simple. You just get a property management company. We live in this small world today because of the internet. I'll call somebody up and I'll have them repair the property. But when you're doing all of that work sight unseen and you're just building the system as you go, that's really what ends up turning into a nightmare. Because when you're not there to meet people, sometimes the work doesn't get done that you paid for. It doesn't get done in the time frame that you asked for. Often you find out that it wasn't that good of a deal like you thought that it was because you don't have a system. You're just doing onesie-twosies. You're just dealing with them one at a time, and you heard it was a good deal or you had some original compelling information. Now, today I'm talking about the best markets to invest in, and I'm also talking about how to successfully invest out of state. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. And this first video is a part of a series that will show you the 4 hottest markets currently in the United States that I'm investing in with my 3,500 clients. People that I work directly with, and I'm helping them access the very best deals with my personal power team. You can build your own power team. I've created videos on that and you can see how to do that. But I want to talk to you today specifically where the best markets and why they're the best markets and how you invest successfully in those markets. Your backyard is likely not the best market to invest in if you wanted to have maximized, optimized returns. So how do we then evaluate all the major 350 metropolitans that make up the United States to know which one is best, which ones are the best? Because I'm going to tell you, markets aren't all equal. We've got some markets that are in economic winter, which means they're in decline, population is dropping, they're not replacing themselves, which means that real estate is going vacant, unused, and that drops the value of property. But you also have other places that are hot. Right now, you've got those places that are growing, they're expanding, they're some of the fastest, hottest growing areas. And so let's talk real quick about, before I tell you and reveal my 4 hottest markets, let me just first tell you this. What makes a market hot? Here are the factors. You might want to write them down. Number 1 is population. Population growth is one of the really big factors in determining overall value of real estate in an area. For just a moment, think about it. Where in the United States, for example, do we have the most expensive real estate? Well, New York, California. Okay. What are those populations? Oh, those just happen to be 2 of the biggest population centers. Population is part of that supply and demand that drives the value of real estate. So yeah, in California, New York, you could be paying millions for something that you might be able to get for $200,000 in another neck of the woods. So I'm looking for a market that has not achieved that mega metropolis prime population where everyone, where it's like part of the global economy. I'm going to areas that have strong economic growth. I'm going to areas where you're seeing 10 or 15% population growth expectations year in and year out. Because if the population is growing, we know that we're going to need more what? Real estate. And you can't build real estate for less than it costs to build, which means it's at least going to have to keep reevaluating its price until it's at that rebuild value, which means if you and I can buy real estate below the rebuild, what does that mean? That means we're going to step into a pile of equity. Okay, the second factor besides population growth that I'm looking for is I'm looking for economy. What are the businesses in that local area? It's one thing to have population growth because of just people that are living there, but we also have people with, when you have big businesses migrating to a particular location, which you're going to see in my 4 markets, you're also going to see that it's going to push population there, and it's going to attract people to want to relocate and move to those areas. So what are the big businesses? What are the global business names that are housed in these markets? I would expect in a strong economy to have some big companies that you and I know as a name brand, as a household name brand, to be poised in these areas that's helping push that growth and economy upwards. I'm also looking cost of living. If you can go into an area, remember these major metropolitans like areas and cities in California and New York, guess what they have? They have really high cost of living. I'm looking for the opposite that are going to be the next New York and California. So I'm looking for a cost of living that is below the average. And then let's talk real estate. I'm looking for houses that are below the median. If I'm real estate below the median, if I have a low cost of living, if I have high economic growth expectations for businesses in the area, and have high population growth, those 4 alone, do you know what they equate to? They equate to strong equity and strong cash flow. Now, based on that, I want to share with you right now the 4 markets that I've been investing in the last few years. My markets change with time. We'll often set up camp for 5-6 years in a market, and then we move to the next. So first one, Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, in one of the videos, I'm going to share with you that anywhere you live in the world, why that would be a great city to invest in. Number 2, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to share with you what's unique about Memphis. Why are we experiencing 15 to 20+% cash on growth overall ROIs? Why is our cash on cash hovering around 10% or more? Orlando, Florida, theme park capital of the world. Where specifically am I at in Orlando, and why am I investing there? Why is it one of the nation's 3rd fastest growing areas? And then Charlotte, North Carolina. Why am I in that area? What is specific and unique about the banking hub of the world there? What's happening with the population and the growth and the businesses moving in? So in the next 4 videos, I'm going to talk about each of these different videos. I'm going to share with you some of the properties that we're doing. I'm going to share with you what the ROIs are. And here's what you're going to find. If you're making 15 to 20% a year on your money, and you compound that with time, guess what that means? That means that financially you are going places, and real estate is your vehicle to develop a far higher level of financial independence. Last thing I want to share with you, how do you really do it out of state? In these videos, I'm going to share with you some of the tips and tricks of what me and my team do to bring this real estate to you. And I want to just start with this. Investing in out-of-state real estate has been the best decision I ever made, but it requires a team and it requires a system. And the reason why is because of a little secret called bulk purchase power. What happens if you go to China and you order 1,000 pens or 10,000 pens or 1,000,000 pens? The price is going to keep dropping. And when you are part of a real estate system that is moving thousands of properties inside that system internally and attracts all of the clients and people like you, investors that want to get your hands on this, it means that we can get our carpet cheaper. It means that we can get it by the roll. We can be importing things from overseas for tiles that we're going to be using. It means that the paint's always going to be the same. The contractors are going to be the same. It means that we develop a system, and bulk buying means that there's always the next job lined up, queued up on the horizon. And that drops the price of everything while maintaining the strong value across the board. So friends, there is a system that exists out there. You can have your own, you can build your own, maybe you live in those markets, but I also want to encourage you to click up here and tap into, hey Chris, how do I get my 401ks, IRAs, equity and properties and savings instead of working against a 3 or 4% inflation, which means I'm earning nothing or negative or little? How do I actually compound my money to get it where I need to go? Well, I'm going to share that with you in the next 4 videos about these hot markets and share with you how you can successfully do that. Check out the next video that's going to share with you the first hot market that I recommend you invest with. And if you're a little bit impatient and you want to know how to get into it faster, if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, you're like, Chris, get me there quicker, faster, let me utilize your team, make sure you click the link up here so that you can get in touch with us and we can share with you how we can take all of our extra leftover inventory and pawn it your way so that you can make the same great returns that we are.